What's going on, fam? I'm Josh. You can call me Anoriand, and this is Vampire Survivors. Now, I wanted to show y'all some of the really cool stuff that was in this game, like some of the mid-level stuff, but apparently my save just deleted. And so I'm back near the beginning, essentially. I have just like the base 4 characters unlocked, and all I've really put into for power-ups is recovery, which I'll actually max out here. But that's fine, I could show you early on. Vampire Survivors is a game that came out this year. If you have not played it, it is, for me, the greatest indie game to come out this year, which is wild, given I'm talking to you about a game whose only mechanic is moving. Left, right, up, down. That's it. But here we are. So I'm gonna show it to you if you've never seen it. Vampire Survivors is very, very clearly inspired by Castlevania. It's basically, what if Castlevania was a bullet hell? And so you start out with Antonio as the base character who anyone can have. He starts out with the whip. And then you can unlock right out the gate Imelda, Pasqualina, and Gennaro. But you can unlock many more characters along the way. Also, in case you can't tell, many of these characters are based on Castlevania characters. Antonio Belpace is very clearly based on Simon Belmont. Okay, all three of these are Belpaces. Imelda, being a mage, is very clearly based on Sifa. So on and so forth. And then Gennaro, he is a Belpace, but given he throws knives and everything, he kind of reminds me more of Grant. Grant Dynasty from Castlevania 3, or Dynasty, if you're nasty. But we're gonna go with Gennaro because he's my favorite of the original Slate characters. They all have differences, both in terms of the weapons they start with, but also in terms of passive buff. So every 10 levels, Antonio gets a 10% damage boost. This is on top of any other damage boost you can get. Every 5 levels, Imelda gets a 10% experience boost, which is very useful, but projectiles get faster. The thing with Gennaro is he gets +1 projectiles. What does that mean? Well, he starts, there are multiple levels as well. But to keep things easy, we're gonna start it at stage 1, the Mad Forest, and go from there. Now, normally when you have a knife, you throw just 1 at first, and you can gain more and more as you go. He starts with 2. So, boom, double knives. Now, it does require some aiming to get the most out of it, but this is the game. You walk around, you kill enemies, you pick up these little blue diamonds, and in so doing, you gain experience and level up. And every time you level up, you can pick a bonus. So now I get things like the Clock Lancet, which when it hits any enemies, causes them to freeze for a second. The Pentagram, which when it goes off, literally just erases anything that that's in sight. And then the Knife will fire a 3rd knife if I pick that. So I'm gonna go with the Knife. Early on, you kind of want to maximize your ability to deal damage. Or at least, a better way to put it, you want to maximize how many enemies you can hit at a time, because you can see, they swarm quickly. This game, I understand it may not look like a knot, but it just has such a sense of, just one more. Just one more. Garlic gives you a little shield of sorts around you that damages any enemy that touches you. It does not deal a lot of damage, but for very weak enemies, like auto kill enemies, it is immensely useful. And then the axe is just like Castlevania. You throw it up above your character and it arcs down. Pretty good damage, though it doesn't hit as frequently as say the knife does. Like, it's not thrown as quickly. But this is why I grabbed the garlic, because now I can just kind of charge at them. These bats always die to 1 hit, so even if they come at me in a group, like, that's actually a good thing. That's basically experience farming at that point. Now, you'll notice some other enemies are coming, these zombies, which will take more than 1 hit to take out with the garlic. But then, far more importantly, that bat that's got the blue outline, that bat will drop a chest most likely, when I defeat it, which will automatically give me, at minimum, 1 of these upgrades, potentially 3 or even 5 of the upgrades, as well as some coins, which you use to buy the upgrades outside of battle, like how you saw I buffed my recovery, which I will explain what that is in a moment. Now I can do the magic wand, which automatically fires periodically at the nearest enemy to you. And of course, I'm playing Gennaro, so it will actually fire 2 blasts at a time. Or the boomerang, which does the cross, which does the same thing, but it goes out and then boomerangs in the other direction. I like the cross purely because of the fact that, as you can see, boom, it can hit multiple enemies. And now, boom, we got a treasure. Let's go for it. Upgraded garlic. So now, and you'll see at the bottom, so we got 167 coins, and then base area up by 40%, base damage up by 2. So it's stronger, but now you can see, boom, it extends further out. We also picked up that red gem. It gave us a ton of experience. So now we can either boost the damage of the cross, go with the pentagram, or go with the wings. The wings are fine. I'm not a big fan of the pentagram, because it doesn't allow for experience drops. I'm a bigger fan. The cross is really good and powerful. The wings would be a good little boost, because moving faster is very useful when you're trying to maneuver away from enemies without putting yourself in danger. And also useful because, as you can see, like, enemies in the garlic take damage every time, like, it shifts. So you can do this kind of, like, shuffle step to hit them multiple times, and if you're faster, it makes that more efficient. I can boost the cross. Pichon, as a bird, like, flies around and drops things, but it's super random. The armor reduces all incoming hit damage by 1, and also increases retaliatory damage. Armor is the way to go here. I'm going for some survivability, because I want the long-term benefits. Now, here's the thing. If I hit that, if you hit escape, you can see off to the left, you can see the knife can actually go up 8 levels. We're at level 2. The garlic, 8 levels across 8 levels. By and large, most of the time, weapons go up to maximum level 8, and then personal upgrades go up to a maximum level 5. You can also see our max health is 120. You can see any armor boost we have, movement speed boosts, blah, 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 going all the way down. There's a bunch of different things that can happen. You can also see recovery, 0.5. Every second, I am restoring 0.5 points of health. That's because of the recovery I bought outside of it. Boom, here's where the garlic makes its worth. You do get groups like that flying through. You can expect them in the early waves. Garlic makes it so good. So good. Clover is useful because when you have, as you increase your luck, you get a chance to get 4 choices instead of 3. More choices means you're more likely to get the things you actually want to show up. Projectile speed is fine, but of those, I'm definitely going to default to the clover. Boom. I want to use up as much of the juice as I can out of these bat groups flying in. Garlic, cooldown reduced, as in the cooldown between hits. And then obviously base damage up, or knife, fire 1 more projectile, base damage up. Between those, I'm gonna go with the knife. Now we'll have 4 daggers flying out, which is very good targeted damage, especially because pretty soon we're gonna get into much stronger enemies appearing, and the more we can throw targeted damage at something, the better, while the garlic is clearly still able to handle the little things. The whip will go pam pam off to the side, front and back. Normally you just get the forward whip to start with, but again, Gennaro, literally everything that like throws out an attack, you always start off with at least 1 more hit of it. So in the case with the whip, it's like, it's weird to think of a whip as a projectile, but you throw it out, so it counts. You get 1 more whip attack to start with when you're playing as Gennaro. All right. Now, just to spread it all out, I'm gonna get the magic wand. Adding it for right now is more efficient than boosting cross damage. Moving forward, I would rather have boosted cross damage, but now you see it just adds another attack to my arsenal of what I'm throwing out, which allows me to go in on what would, you know, that bat was not really scary before so much as theoretically a problem. But now it's, I can just cruise through it. when you really know what you're doing about this game, the early game is prepped for the later game. King Bible is definitely what I'm gonna go with here. Every so often, you will see 2 Bibles, because Gennaro. Boom, start orbiting around me, and anything it hits deals damage. They get bigger and faster, and you get more of them as they level up. Very useful. Basically, my strategy right now in the early game is I'm acquiring as many different forms of damage dealing as possible because they'll all work together very well. And now from here, I'm gonna wanna focus more. So from here, I'm actually gonna wanna focus the knife. The whip is probably overall more damaging compared to the knife, but leveling up the knife to max sooner will give me a more efficient single target damage dealing measure than leveling them both up equilaterally. Like, now that I have the multiple different attacks, now I want to start focusing on specific attacks that'll benefit me. See here, boom, knife passes through 1 more enemy. So now they're all effectively hitting 2 enemies per, which is so much more useful in terms of clearing out groups. It just like machine guns through enemies if you know what you're doing. But the thing is, enemies are keyed to time. Like, I'm almost at 5 minutes elapsed. Ooh, okay. Generally, I would probably boost Garlic or the Cross here. Empty Tome is the one upgrade that Gennaro especially needs to max immediately. Reduces weapon cooldown by 8%. You can get that up to level 5, so eventually up to 40% of a boost. Weapon cooldown is literally like how fast between uses the weapons pop out. So when you have that maxed, you're literally shooting everything out 40% fast, like more frequently than you otherwise would. And when your whole build is based around throwing out a bajillion attacks, being able to do it almost twice as fast is basically a cheat code. Let's go ahead and keep ramping the knife up to max. And so this is a situation where these flowers will continuously try to crawl in on you and circle you around and lock you into place to where you can't escape. But with all these knives, I can just move right through. And I maybe took a tiny bit of damage, but it's nothing too worrisome. And I have enough healing that I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to leave both those glowing things there for a second. Each one will have a use very soon. The one on the bottom left that kind of looks like a clock almost, that will freeze every enemy in place on screen and allow me to attack them freely and them die and everything without any sort of fear of, repercussion or what have you. The reddish one right there will actually have me breathe fire in whatever direction I'm aiming at and will very quickly clear groups. I'm leaving those there because I can tell you now, very shortly, we're gonna end up with large swaths of much stronger enemies coming at us, and you wanna be ready for those. So you can see what I'm hoping at least, you can see what I was getting to. Like, I get it. The gameplay is literally just me walking or standing and staring in various directions, but that doesn't mean it's not fun. It is, in fact, extremely fun. And maybe it's only fun because number go big and big number go boom, but that's fine by me. Okay, now there's enough of a group that I actually feel okay with doing this. That glowing orb, by the way, that will collect every item on the map, like all the little experience gems and everything. Let's see. Between these, I'm gonna say the garlic. That will eventually get bigger and more notable. Like, garlic is... I love garlic. It's super useful. I mean that both in a cooking sense and in a, like, in the game sense. Ooh, okay. Spinach raises all damage across the board by 10%. I'm gonna go with that. I would like to boost my garlic further, but spinach is just a bit too useful. Okay. I will boost the magic wand to get that one extra shot going out for free and easy. Boom. So here's a situation where most of these enemies are very weak, and so they will kind of just crumble to the garlic. And so I can use this opportunity to focus my knife shots downwards to go after that one outlined bat. Trust me, you will see more and more enemies. And every map also has different enemies, by the way, which further adds to this. Like, you don't just fight the one type of enemy across the game. They put a lot in it. And there was a bunch of DLC, free DLC they've dropped. Like, this is very clearly a game that they care deeply about making the best game possible, and it's appreciated. I'm going to focus the cross. As useful as the attract orb is, ultimately right now I know enemy groups are coming. I would much rather, ooh, okay. Pumarola increases your healing by 0.2 HP per second. It might be unnecessary right now, but I want that sooner rather than later, because again, you can bump that up 5 levels. At max, you can be in a situation where you get, because I already paid for the 0.5 HP per second healing outside of, you know, with the coins you get during the game in the outside power-up menu, like before you start, I'm in a situation where I can get 1.5 HP of healing per second, and the second being like the game clock up above me. See, this is why I put so much into that knife, because these groups would not necessarily be able to succumb to garlic immediately, but the crowds just melt when you've got machine gun knives firing through them. It's a super great, super efficient way to play. That's why I love Gennaro. He's not my favorite character, but he's one of my favorite characters. Ooh, more knife! More knife! Is it maxed yet? No, it's one away from being maxed. Yada da 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 da! All right. Boom. Okay, these guys can be a little bit scary. They take a good little bit of damage. Boom. Okay, I want to move like so. I want to get outside of them so that I can, boom, be very much so smacking into their front line as they're coming in. Like, that's how you gotta handle big groups like that. Try to get outside them and try to, you know, try to start wearing them down little by little. Because the wave does not stay all the biggest, strongest enemies throughout the entire time. Let me go ahead, now that I'm doing that, get another, I know there's 2 of these attract orbs just sitting around. See if I can get a useful upgrade, and I did. I can do the knife, which will max it out, or I can do spinach. I'm gonna do the knife. Because now with that 1 extra pass through, it doesn't sound like a lot, but the reality is, it pretty much instantly clears what I need it to. Boom. Big praying mantis guy. Unfortunately, he's facing down the wrath of knives. Okay, 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 we got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. Boom. Oh no, there's a red gem and I can't get to it. But you know what I can do? This thing I left here a while back. Boom, frozen. Everybody die. Everybody die. Everybody die. Got that spinach, baby. Popeye would be proud. And keep clearing them out. Keep clearing them out. While they can't move, while they can't do anything, just shove damage deep inside of them. And just like that, as bleak as that looked for a second there, the reality is these skeletons will melt under my shotgun. I'm gonna continue with the Pumarola for more health. My knife shotgun that just clears through waves. And just basically turns this into an experience farm for me. Boom. There you go. It's so good. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the King Bible. Mostly because of that. Like, when you upgrade it real quick, there is a thing in the game where if it's already going, the previous iteration will stay on the battlefield, but then the next iteration will pop immediately with the upgrade, and so you end up with, like, just a slew of Bibles surrounding you, and it's, feel holy wrath, boom. Okay, again, empty tome. Oh, shoot, double level. We're gonna go with, garlic, TBH. That will allow the area to keep improving on it, which is very useful. And now you see my attacks are coming out just that little bit faster in a way that matters. I'm trying to focus down this thingy, this bat, to see if I can't get another treasure chest, because there are, like, you can actually evolve. Boom. Woo! Is this a 5er? I think it is. Oh, it's a 3. You can get 5 ones too, where the 2 yellow beams that were floating around, they'll sink in and form 2 more beams off to the side. It's dope. Okay, whip, spinach, and a pumarola. Good stuff. And I've got 2 red gems here, so I'm going to level really quick. Of these, let's go with... Let's go with the cross because of the fact that it boosts area. And then garlic again. You fools! Rush me all you please. You cannot escape the wrath of the knife machine gun, complete with crosses. It's just so good. It's so good and so fun. And I'm having a blast. And there's a reason so many other people have been having a blast as well. It's because it's such a good freaking game. Like, the team really did oh god, okay. The problem isn't the ghosts themselves. The problem is that the ghosts are shifting the werewolves too quickly. So I need to, okay, there we go. Nope. Get the health! Oh! I thought I could get the health real quick and then sneak out. That was such a good run, too. But we unlocked Mortasio, and we also unlocked Clarice. And I will tell you right now, Clarice is actually my favorite character to start with, in general. She starts with the holy water, which splashes and makes, like, areas of effect where damage just bubbles up. But also, she starts with a flat plus 0.5 health a second and 50 more max health. And so when you stack that with the 5 I've already bought, and the fact that she can still gain 5 full levels of Pumarola, you can get 2 health per second. She gets super hard to kill. Now, she's harder to use in the beginning, but in the late game, she can destroy people. So there's some good stuff going on there. But yeah, that's Vampire Survivors, man. It's cool. It's fun. It's literally my favorite indie game of this year. And everybody should buy it. I'm going to have a link in the description to the Steam page where you can buy it, where you can support the devs. I'll tell you right now, someone in my community bought this for me. I've never spoken with the devs. I have no contact with them whatsoever. I would love to do something with them, but, like, I don't have any connection. I just wanted to give it up to a great game. I feel like they deserve to be seen. And while a bunch of people have definitely seen it, if I can help bring more eyes to it, so that's what I'd like to do. So thank you all very much for hanging out with me. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. If you liked what you saw, leave a like. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike, of course. Leave a comment. What were your favorite indie games this year, 2022? I want to know. Please hit me with that. Give me a list. What indie games are you looking forward to next year as well, if you've seen any? I know for me, I believe next year, Ayuden Chronicles 100 Heroes is technically an indie game. Technically, that's That's going to be potentially my game of the year. It's going to be that or Fire Emblem Engage. I can tell you that, right? Or, listen, there's actually a couple options. It's going to be that, Fire Emblem Engage, or Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. There's going to be a whole fight for that. But what's coming out next year that you're interested in for indie games? What indie games did you play this year that you love? Talk to me. Please leave a comment down below. Subscribe to see more. And until next time, I'll catch you later, fam. All right.